Welcome! You are tuning into Around the Table with the Judges podcast presented by PropertyGuru Property Report, the official magazine of Asia Property Awards and Asia Real Estate Summit. This episode is brought to you by Southeast Asia Globe, the official media partner of PropertyGuru Cambodia Property Awards 2022. In this special series, we will introduce our esteemed judges across our awards markets, from India to Greater Niseko, Japan to Australia. We will also be diving into the nitty-gritty of the judging process and figure out why they are the most deserving to judge leading industry players.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us on our first episode of the Judges Podcast. My name is Tina Ryan, and I will be your host throughout this series. Now, today, we will be meeting the judging panel of the 7th Annual PropertyGuru Cambodia Property Awards. Before we begin, our judges will introduce themselves, starting with our dearest chairperson.
Thank you, Tina. My name is Son Siep. I'm the chair committee of Cambodia Property Guru, and I'm the Executive Vice President for Cambodian Valuers and Estate Agent Association.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Who would like to go next? Take the floor, gentlemen. And Ken Kesa, feel free to speak anytime you feel like it.
I can take the next round. My name is Ken Kesa Kim. People normally call me Kesa. I'm in the Central Judge panel. Currently, I serve as Associate Director of CBRE in Cambodia, specifically taking charge of research and consulting department.
Would like to go next?
Simon Griffis, Managing Director of the Mall Company. Been in commercial real estate for the last 10 years in Cambodia. We specialize in fields such as property management, commercial leasing, and project development.
Thank you, Simon. And last but not the least.
Hi, everyone. My name is Giovanni Antonio. I am a residential managing director of DANG Consultancy Group. We specialize in assisting clients with their investments and operational management goals for the real estate market.
Thank you so much. Now, as some of you might not know, our judges are made up of an independent panel of experts renowned in their respective fields. Now, in the simplest way possible, can you tell us what your role is in the awards program? Let's begin with our chairperson.
Well, with the awards program, I believe that it's really attract to the market, especially in Cambodia. The way the program that we promote into the real estate market here, and I trust on the program that we have many steps in order to get into the final judgment. And all of our judges, we come from different expertise, and we judge based on our expertise, and also independently we vote. We give the score by our opinion after looking at the documents, and also we do the site visit, and at the end we have the final judge meeting. And the program is also involved in the real estate market here to promote sustainability and the development growth of property market in Cambodia. So it also promotes Cambodia property market into the outside market regionally and internationally. So I'm really proud of Cambodia Property Awards, and also very happy to be part of the program. Thank you.
Gentlemen, Ms. Keta?
I'll let the gentleman go first on this question.
What's the question again?
Would you like me to repeat the question?
Please, yeah. I definitely was listening though.
In the simplest way possible, can you tell us what your role is in the awards program?
My interpretation is we review all the entries in sort of as detailed professional fashion as we can. We call on all the different judges who have everything from legal backgrounds, construction backgrounds, residential, commercial real estate backgrounds. So the different disciplines we review as much detail as we can. We discuss. Everyone brings in their opinions and thoughts, and ultimately we select those properties and developers and individuals that we think are deserving of an award, whether it's the top award or the highly commended. That's how I see our role.
Thank you, Simon. Giovanni?
Yeah, I agree with all those points. In regards to like every judge has this unique specialization in how they look at each entry that comes in. But amongst those general points, I tend to like to focus on judging how the forecasted operational plans are going to be created for the project. So with what's being developed, usually a lot of it's the conceptual interest of what's going to become. I also like to look at to see what's going to happen in the future, to like for how the projects will actually create value for the city or for the investors or for the end users, and how that becomes a benefit in that value within the class that they're competing in. So it kind of brings a full circle of evaluation when we're looking at to see how to differentiate themselves. As the market grows, as competition gets better, like you really look at not just kind of what they're creating today, but how that's going to affect the market for tomorrow.
Thank you, Giovanni. Anything else you would like to add to that, Ms. Kessa?
Not very different from the gentleman. I think our role as a judge is to provide professionals and unbiased opinions on the developments, developers, or individuals who enter into the competitions. Just like Giovanni just said, our focus is really majorly on the quality and the aspirations of the project itself, whether it deserves the place in the market. And for me personally, I would also look into whether this development or a particular developer has raised the bar, quality bar in the market to another step as the market evolves.
Tessa, you've mentioned the word bias. My next question leads to that, so I'd like you to answer the second question, if you may. As experts in your respective fields, I'm sure you hold yourselves to extremely high standards, but we cannot ignore the fact that you will have your own style and preferences. Now, whether if it's the processes implemented or materials used, the question is, how do you distance yourself from unintentional professional bias?
The answer probably, the experience probably different according to all the judges. I might be one of the youngest judges. I only joined in 2021, so I can only talk about my experience. From my experience, trying to be professional and unbiased mean taking yourself out when you review or evaluate the projects, and tend to look at the project from an external point of view. For example, if we are evaluating a residential property, I would look into put myself into the buyers or tenants who will become the occupiers for this space, and thinking of from the practical and user point of view, whether these aspects or this kind of feature will make sense for this type of development. Just an example. Generally, I try to take myself out because each of us would have personal preference on certain aspects of the buildings, but I think that's one of the way that we can take out ourselves from the bias.
Yes, Mr. Chair, or whoever gentleman would like to answer. So again, how do you distance yourself from an intentional professional bias?
Well, for my point of view, when I look at the project, I generally look at the quality of the construction and quality of the design, and what is the technology they put into the compound or the development. And also I look at the price and location, where it is marketability or it is not. So mainly I look at this 4 criteria, and will give the score according to my opinion, the view that I look at the document that they presented to me, and also on the site visit itself, I can see how the preparation look like, and what is the progress in the project is. So yeah, this is the source of information for me to judge.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Giovanni or Simon, we know that this year you have decided to add the best coastal residential development category. What was the reasoning behind this addition, and do you see this segment thriving in the near future?
Giovanni, do you want to go?
Sure. The coastal area is really fascinating how it's developing. The segment itself certainly has an interest to thrive. It's part of the country that's just expanding faster than probably most of the other country outside of the capital as well, for its own points. It's blending multiple type of projects that we really felt that to get the best opportunity for the projects that are being developed there, we needed to kind of create and separate from like deeper inland projects that would be harder to compete against, like, let's say, the landscape of having projects, like right along line of the coast. It's just so many options that are continuing to enter that market. Splitting those differences just makes neutral sense, just to be able to help just kind of give everybody a fair chance, and really see, how they can continue to push, their projects within those realms for the next years to come. Just makes sense.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, Kessa or Simon, would you like to add anything to that?
Yes. The coastal developments, really Sinnotville being the most developed, where they're developing a multi-model special economic zone for the whole of Sinnotville based on the Shenzhen model. So beyond tourism, but in terms of the amount of real estate development that's gone on, and then which started and stuttered with complications along the way. But in terms of the potential that there is along the coast, it really is huge. And it's new and exciting, and I think being able to really look at that as its own thing, which it really is becoming, and reward those developers who are really delivering quality. I think that's a good thing. And will the segment thrive? I think yes, it will. Absolutely. There's zero doubt. It won't be the smoothest of ride at times, but I don't think anyone doubts that the segment will grow substantially on the coast.
Thank you, Simon. To all the judges, have you ever been in a meeting wherein the judges are unable to unanimously agree on a winner? And how did you deal with the situation?
Well, actually, we come across this kind of situation where half 50% of the judges support the idea, and other 50% of the judges support the idea. But of course, we have one resolution that can solve the thing, is that all of them will throw the decision to the chairperson, so the chairperson can make the decision. I think this is a very value, a very honor from my heart to them. Of course, we not just look at just the outside view, but of course deep into the management, the design, and who is the developer. Yeah, we get all of the concrete information for us in order to make the final decision.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Kankesa?
Yeah, just to add to Mr. Chair, I think before we turn over the final decision to the chair, we also have several rounds of debates. That's what I recall from our practices. Generally, the judges who are for certain idea will come up and debate their ideas, and we have several rounds of discussions until we can either convince the other part of the room, or if no resolutions still cannot be reached, we will turn to the judge. So I think that's the overall solutions when trying to make decision, and it's come down to us quite often, several times in the last year evaluation round. A lot of projects are very good in their own way, and when it comes to select one of the best, it's pretty hard in some situations.
Thank you, Kessa. Now, seeing as all of you dedicate your time for free, we wonder, what is it that makes this role worthwhile to you? Who would like to answer first?
I'll start.
Okay, go ahead, Giovanni.
Thank you, sir. No, yeah, I think besides just understanding a deeper level of what's happening in this real estate market, I do find it a privilege to be representing a panel of judges amongst experienced colleagues in this industry. They take their professions extremely seriously, and it really kind of passes on to how we look at, working with the participants and all the entries in this market, and the way that the Property Gurus kind of set up the process. I always end up leaving like the award show, like this pride of being a part of something that really offers value to the market. And so there's that combination of really being able to attribute to that and contribute. That just helps. It really makes it worthwhile.
Thank you. Mr. Chair?
Well, to me, anything that is related to property in Cambodia or in the region, I like to get myself involved, because my passionation is to be a professional in property, and I see the program that the Property Awards been doing. So I have the idea to I'm interested in the program, and also nice to be one of the parts in Property Guru program. And you may see a lot of news pop up in Cambodia by just typing my name, because anything like earlier I said, anything related to property market, I really like to be involved. And I like I like property industry, and I want to just spend the rest of my life in property.
Mr. Chair, Kessa, Simon, who would like to go first?
I think definitely it's a privilege, just similar to other judges. I think to be able to contribute and using, our expertise and experience that I've been practicing in over the past year, and contribute to raising the standard, and at the same time, recognize all the outstanding projects and developer. It's really something very meaningful, whether from a professional point of view, or even from a personal fulfillment for me. I think just to be able to contribute and raising the quality and standards in the industry, especially through internationally recognized award schemes such as PropertyGuru, really makes the times and efforts worthwhile.
Thank you, Tessa. And Simon?
Yeah, I mean, we spend all our days in our jobs, focusing on whether it's research and consultancy or agency work or whatever it is we do. So it's nice to get out in Cambodia and in the industry and sector that we all work and love, and sort of take the narrow lens off that we're studying whatever report we're working on, and get to take the time to see everything that's going on and appreciate it. And we're welcomed by the developers. We're shared the information about the projects, and they show us around. So for that week when we're doing the site visits, and then when we come together to judge and discuss everything, it's nice. We're giving the appreciation to the developers through the awards, but I think for the judges we get to appreciate everything as well. I mean, I've been a judge for 7 years, so it is the one time of the year where you really get to sort of see from year 2014, I think was the first, or 15, how much progress has been made. So I think that's rewarding as a judge.
Thank you. Now, every year, judges, the entries become more and more innovative. How has the criteria for judging evolved throughout the years?
Well, good question. Actually, from years to years, we've been discussing about the criteria, and because like last year, we also add another criteria to the judging process. And we've been developed from some very basic into a proper criteria in order to be to have something for our judges and for all of us to be easy to judge. And I think based on the new entries, we also discuss from case by case. It's like Tessa raised last year or this year. I think this year about the heritage property. So it is something new for us as the judge to really how to looking at that kind of entry. I think maybe Tessa can add some more on that.
Thank you, Bong Siep. Well, I think you have put it perfectly. I think as the type of award becoming more sophisticated, the projects or the industry in general also are growing, every year. In my past 5 years working in real estate, I have seen the standard growing quite significantly in Cambodia, and I think that we're catching up with the rest of the market. So as a judge, coming with this honor to be evaluating all these projects, we also need to keep ourselves up to scales and up to what is the not only the country standard, and in some aspects we have to look into a regional standard as well. I think some of the projects that have been developed in Cambodia really take a step further and proceed into the actual regional standard, and we can see that they stand out. Particularly for this new award category that we add on top of best coastal residential development, we also have this new best heritage development, which is also another new aspect to our judging panel. But I think it's very important for us to not only looking at the newly built development, but also take the time to appreciate all those heritage building has been sitting around the city and being preserved pretty well by the owners and developers. So I think it's just a very exciting thing to be involved in this year.
Yes, Giovanni, Simon, if you want to add or not, I can proceed to the next question. Can any of you share how has being a judge at Cambodia Property Awards expanded your appreciation of the built environment and the masterminds behind them?
I could start on that. I mean, it's been profound since the moment I got started a couple of years ago with PropertyGuru. I arrived to Cambodia about 8 years ago, and I kind of felt like I was at the start of the initial phases of the condominium projects starting to be developed. And I can see how the entire market has been evolving and changing, and being a part of what PropertyGuru Award shows presenting really digs further into the thought process of why projects are being developed, the strategies behind, answering how they will be able to create value for investors or interested parties that are getting into the market. Really just pushing boundaries from just inside the country to like a more regional level. And that definitely helps the market evolve to really introduce what competition really is, instead of just kind of being within the realm of, like, let's say what the city's kind of competing within its own circle. It really can showcase other options, like being able to introduce it to like what the regions are showing, the awards for those countries as well. So it's profound.
Giovanni, Tessa?
Well, I think I kind of covered this in the previous questions already. I think that the opportunity to see how the project being constructed, planned from another angle. When you are a judge on this award panel, it's quite different. Even from my day-to-day job, working pretty closely with many developers, but I think I get to see the other aspects of some of these projects and get really to appreciate the story behind some of these developments, as well as how much thought they put into, take for example, especially the residential projects, when developer put a really deep thought into how this space, this room would fit into daily life of the future buyers or their future family, and how their family functions in the living room, in the bedroom, and so on and so forth. Just amazing to see. And I think being a judge gives me these opportunities. Probably I don't come often in my day-to-day job.
Thank you, Tessa. Simon?
Expanded my appreciation for the built environment and the masterminds behind them. Definitely expanded my appreciation of the amount of hard work that goes into these projects. And like Casa said, it's great when you do see the projects where they've really thought about the end user and what they're trying to achieve, whether it's in the residential or even commercial sector. They're the ones that I think where voting is usually unanimous with the judges, and we all like to see. I've always had appreciation for the built environment, architecture of many different styles. I enjoy. To mirror what we said before, when you get the chance to go around and actually sort of get yourself away from your desk or meetings and take the time to see everything, you do appreciate everything that goes on.
If I could step in, actually, Simon, I agree with you 100%. Like one of the things that I found interesting is, as we're judging, let's say from like projects like 2 years ago when they first got started, and before they're fully finished or developed, and like now that we're still part of the awards and kind of seeing now that they're completed, you go, all right, how much of what they conceptually started to create, like did they achieve, to where it's at? And it's really cool to be able to see like the inner workings of, what their goals were, and then what the end results, end up being. And that's kind of, and we get to see that also from back end that normally people don't get to touch on.
So basically, like from ground up until the finished project, which is wonderful. And lastly, Mr. Chair, let's give Mr. Chair a few minutes.
I'm sorry, the disturbance.
Okay, Mr. Chair. Would you like me to repeat the question again?
No, no need. I think for me, the appreciation that I have with the as a judge in Cambodia Property Awards, that firstly I can learn from my during the process of judgment, and also I can work together with other district judges, and also especially we come from different kind of career, and we can sit down together and exchange our opinion and experience. And of course, I also appreciated that Cambodia PropertyGuru program can link between the local developer and the international and regional and international developer to exchange their development experience, and also to bring the concept of newly emerging market like Cambodia into the international market, to see what is the progress look like, and also get the recommendation for the development improvement in Cambodia. I also joining the grand final dinner. They also have the a program that the local developer can mix and exchange the idea and experience to get with the international developer. Of course, especially the developer from developed market like Singapore, Thailand, and Hong Kong, etc. And also I think we are looking for the new experience they can bring Australia and Japan to come to the gala dinner, so that the local developer can learn more experience to develop property in Cambodia. And I also appreciated that some of the developers, they learn themselves, they know the strength and weakness of their team and their project, so that they can continue to work on improvement of their team and their project.
Okay, Mr. Chair. Now, with the improving economy, not only in Cambodia, but across the world, what are you most looking forward to as a judge this year?
I'm sorry?
With the improving economy, not only in Cambodia, but across the world, what are you most looking forward to as a judge this year?
As the economy slowed down because of the COVID-19, not only Cambodia, but of course around the world, Cambodia, what we can see here, the situation is getting better. Everyone is free now in the public place. We don't have to wear masks anymore. And according to the Japanese magazine, we are number 2, recorded to be the fastest recover from the COVID-19. And I can see the business environment in Cambodia now getting busier than last year. But of course, because of the situation, the market link from Cambodia to regional market and also to the world is really quite a challenge for the developer to promote and improve their quality of construction and also the design in order to compete during this kind of situation. And of course, when the market is not strong, the buyer power is weak. So the developer needs to find the differentiation and the quality of their project, and also the technology, and also the strategy to absorb the buyer during this market. And I see that some of the project they also have some cash flow problem, and also some of the project they have other they have to settle some of their issue in order to move forward during this year. And I hope that there will be more entries this year into Cambodia Property Award 2022.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Simon, would you like to add anything to that? What are you looking forward to as a judge this year?
The gala dinner and being able to do it in person. Hugely, because when we were doing it digitally and even when we do site visits and they're very restricted, and then our judges meetings, it wasn't the same experience. So being in a room with all the developers, the judges, and that's when the climax, that's when everything comes together, and I think everybody enjoys that. So definitely what I'm looking forward to the most, but also with the sort of development hiatus that we've had, how is we see the economy and things picking up, but like Sonsiep said, the global economy outlook is no longer looking so rosy. So, it's going to be very interesting for us to see. We feel things are moving ahead, and I think that's generally the consensus. But being able to be on the ground and see how that's happening project by project will be enlightening.
Anybody else would like to add to that before I move on to our final question?
I can add that my thoughts are, besides the gala, definitely I do enjoy that, like the competitive kind of in-person situation of seeing who's going to win the awards and the involvement of everybody that's going to be enjoying themselves during there. For the market itself, what I'm going to look most interested in is the adjustments these development projects are going to actually kind of take on, where how the market was a couple of years ago. It was very aggressive on how they're looking to do the developments. And now there's still interest in value in development, but which adjustments are they going to actually make? Where are they going to make the type of investment decisions to maybe not go expand so widely, or maybe be a little bit more specifically driven to a local market as opposed to a more regional area. That's kind of what I'm most looking forward to seeing, how that expands, like how this market continues to grow with the supply that it currently has, and to see what's going to come up next.
Giovanni, Kessa?
I also very much looking forward to in-person gala. I miss the excitement when everyone, all the contestants and judges are in the same room, and we're waiting to hear the results, and everyone cheers, and it was very exciting moment, and I think we missed that bit in the past year. Although another thing that I also most look forward to is similar to Giovanni, seeing how these new developments and our future entry will adapt to, especially what happened in the past 2 years. I think COVID has changed the way we live and worked a lot. So I expect to see new technology or new concept design being adopted in the new developments, and really excited to see what are those technologies and concepts that are being put into place, and how advanced our developers are putting, are being in terms of this kind of future-proof their projects.
Thank you, Kessa. Now, country winners from across our markets will be eligible to compete at the highly anticipated grand final later this year. Do you think developers from Cambodia have what it takes to go head-to-head with our other countries?
Well, I often join the grand final meeting with other judges, and of course, Cambodian projects, we won a few how to say, a few awards, and also last year our project from what is the project again in Georgia? We won one in the international level. So even though Cambodia is the emerging market, relatively new property market, but of course we still managed to win the awards because of I think the concept that we can learn fast from the international market, and also from the international developers that make our Cambodian developer be able to win the competition in the regional level. And I hope that Cambodia project is going to win more and more awards, so that as a Cambodian professional in property, I'm also feel proud of the projects and feel proud of the developer that can be I can say strong in the international market.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Kesa?
I think a lot of projects in Cambodia are now proceeding to reach international standard, especially regionally. Even if we're looking at the common practice, a lot of these projects are not only competing among projects in Cambodia, but regionally, especially projects that being invested or being leased to international tenants or corporates. A lot of aspects in terms of safety, security, user experience are being well considered and being more appreciated as we see the market evolve. And I expect that Cambodia, some of the Cambodian development does have what it takes to compete at regional level. And as Mr. Chair just mentioned, in the past we have won several projects already, and I very much hope that this year we'll see more entries proceeding to regional levels and being compete in international realm.
That's Giovanni, Simon, if you'd like to add anything to that. I'm going to go ahead and close the floor for questions. And so before we end this episode, may we have once again our chairperson, Soren Siep, invite our leading developers and designers to participate in the 2022 edition of the PropertyGuru Cambodia Property Awards. Mr. Chair.
To be honest speaking, I really appreciate the PropertyGuru Cambodia Awards program, and it's really the market in Cambodia is small, but of course it's very popular, the program, and I believe that all of the stakeholders in property, the designer, the developer, and the architecture are encouraged to involve in the program so that they can learn some more experience with the program and also with the other stakeholders and together with the judges.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to all the judges. So make sure to send in your entries at asiapropertyawards.com. Our heartfelt gratitude to our respected judges for generously devoting your time and expertise to our awards program. Now, apart from those present here today, we would also like to give a shout out to members, Ms. Jenny Chea Sokyu, Tida Ann, Lim Viasna, Michael Freeman, Michelle Kassan, and Dr. Simon Van Cliff.
There you have it, the distinguished judging panel of the 2022 PropertyGuru Cambodia Property Awards. To maintain the highest of standards, during the process, our independent panel is supervised by HLB, a global network of award-winning independent professional accounting firms and business advisors. Once again, thank you for joining us in this special episode brought to you by Southeast Asia Globe, the official media partner of PropertyGuru Cambodia Property Awards 2022. See you in the next one.